This is how you share your games on PS4.
Thanks.
If you're watching this, if you are in my target audience, you know what Sony did last week. They've announced that as of January 2028, all PlayStation published games will be exclusively digital. This on the heels of Rockstar announcing that the physical edition of GTA 6 will not actually include a physical edition. It'll just be a case with the download code in it. This is not a new practice, but it is a really dumb practice. If you're gonna go digital, just go digital. Who wants a case with no game in it? Ever since, people have been looking for heroes. On day one, I heard people saying they hoped Xbox would jump up and put Sony in its place. Crickets. We all know Xbox is going in the same direction. The new next Xbox, whatever it's gonna be called, is long rumored to be just a PC in a console box. And PCs haven't played physical media for years. Xbox is quietly counting their blessings that Sony said it first. They are just quietly laying low and waiting for everyone to just accept that this is the new reality. Some people have said they're jumping ship to Steam. Sure. I'm mad that Sony won't let me play physical games, so I'm gonna turn to the company that has never sold me a physical game. Nintendo? Maybe. They do still sell game cards. Some of them even have games on them. But frankly, most of them are just download codes wrapped in plastic. Nintendo will likely be the last major player to stop supporting physical content. Not for any altruistic reasons, they are just a little further out from whatever's going to replace the Switch 2. And then there are the people screaming, retro is the future. With me being me, you'd think I'd be screaming the same thing, but you might be a little surprised. Hi, I'm Paul, and this is Indie Pop Productions, pop culture from an independent point of view. Today, we're going to take a look at the rise and fall and hopeful rise again of physical media and gaming. Officially, my channel covers all things pop culture. Now, over time, that has sort of been narrowed down to mostly retro gaming. But when I first started, my first, most popular early video was on the PlayStation Portal, a handheld used to stream games either from the cloud using my PlayStation Plus subscription or from my all-digital PS5. An all-digital PS5 that I use almost exclusively to play games using my PlayStation Plus subscription. These days, most of my PC gaming is done either through Steam on my OG ROG Ally, or it is done on my laptop using Xbox Game Pass. I sold my Xbox Series X, which was primarily just a Game Pass machine, to buy my Switch 2, which I do primarily play physical game cards on. Although I do also do a little bit of Nintendo Switch Online, or NSO. I read most of my books on Kindle or listen to them on Audible. I watch most of my movies on Apple TV Plus or Netflix or HBO Max, and I listen to most of my music on Apple. I tell you all this because while I am sitting here making a video about the importance of physical media, I am a part of the problem. And odds are, so are you. The idea of owning media is a relatively new concept, not one passed on from generation to generation from the beginning of time, but it is one directly linked to the betterment and the freedom of the common man. The idea of owning a book that you could read whenever you want and no one could ever take away was strictly for the rich until the invention of the printing press. That same concept could not be applied to a musical recording for almost another 500 years. It was the 1980s before it became common practice to sell movies and TV shows directly to consumers, first on VHS and then on DVD. For most of the 20th century up to that point, the studios made most of their money by licensing their shows to television stations or theaters. We got to watch them when they decided to show them. Even when VHS first became popular, they originally sold them just to businesses for the purposes of rental. The prices on those individual tapes was prohibitively high. It wasn't until they realized that they could make more money by dropping the prices and selling them directly to us that selling VHS and DVDs to us became common practice. Video games, on the other hand, jumped almost straight into our living rooms. I owned my first Atari cartridges before I ever got my own copy of Star Wars. When I first got access to the internet in the mid-90s, it was like the Wild West. The painfully slow Wild Wild West. We had no idea what was coming. When things sped up enough that we could download music, we thought it was a democratization of art and entertainment. No more gatekeeping by the studios. Anyone with the talent could become a star. And that's a good thing. But there's also bad there. And I'm not talking about piracy. That's a whole other ever-shifting can of worms. I'm talking about the real danger posed to innocent people by anything as large as the internet that is completely unregulated. So regulation came to the internet, and the studios and the powers that be followed. And slowly but surely, and sometimes not so slowly, our ability to own those books and movies and TV shows and music and games began to slip away. While I do most of my reading on Kindle, if I really like a book, I can go to the bookstore and buy a copy. And if I'm really lucky, I might even get to meet the author and have it autographed. Similarly, if I like a song I hear on Apple Music or Spotify, I can go buy a copy on CD or vinyl and play it on any CD player or any record player. If I see a movie on HBO Max or Disney Plus and I really like it, I can almost always find a copy to buy at the store. And I could play that copy on any DVD player or Blu-ray player as long as I have a region-free player. Don't judge me. While video games were the quickest form of media to enter the home, they were also the quickest to be taken away. Yes, if I play a game on PS Plus and I really like it, I could probably find a physical copy. But I can only play that game on a PS5, assuming I have a PS5 with a disc drive. And I more than likely won't be able to play it on any PS6. I will be shocked if any PS6 has a disc drive. So to all those asking why we're upset now, but we didn't say anything when it happened to books or music or movies, fair point, but this does hit a little different. As an old gamer, I love my memories of playing on those old cartridge-based systems of the 70s and the 80s and even the 90s. I wouldn't trade those memories for the world. The love of those games, those experiences, is the primary basis for this channel. But I have to be honest with you. If you had gone to younger me in the 70s, 80s, or 90s and said, Paul, right now you get a game for Christmas, you get a game for your birthday. If you're good, you might get to rent a game for a random weekend. But when you're older, you'll have access to hundreds or even thousands of games anytime you want. True, they may occasionally take some of them away, but you'll always have them replaced with something else, and there'll always be something new to play. Young Paul would have thought the future sounded amazing. And when you think about it like that, it kind of is. Young Paul would have traded his cartridge collection in a heartbeat, just like he would have traded for infinite books, music, and movies. Dumbledore once told us, soon we must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy. You see, ownership may be freedom, but convenience is king, and we will always happily bow down to that throne. Before making this video, I tried to figure out how I felt about it. Angry, sad. It's hard to work up strong emotions about something that you already knew was going to happen. And we all knew. We've known for years. So who are the heroes and the villains here? Is Evercade the hero for selling licensed collections of old games that the studios gave them the permission to sell to us? Is Steam the hero for not forcing you to buy their way overpriced box, but allowing you to play on the computer that you already have, assuming you can afford the RAM? Are Microsoft and Sony the villains for taking away the way they used to let us buy our games? If so, they've been the villains all along. Companies like Hyperkin and PlayOn have been working on new consoles to play our old cartridge-based games on modern screens. And I know there are companies out there that are working on doing the same thing for disc-based games. But that's only going to work up to a point. That's going to be tough to accomplish from anything from the Xbox 360/PS3 era on. That's when we began getting more DLC and buggy game releases that needed updated patches over the internet the day of release to work out of the box. Anything from the Xbox One/PS4 era is going to be a nightmare to try to play years down the road without some sort of additional downloads from their servers that they control. Nearly 50 years later, all my old Atari carts still work great. So do my Nintendo and Sega carts. But that's not going to be true 20, 40 years down the road for any of our disc-based systems from that era on. I mean, how much of GTA 5 is even on here? I keep seeing videos of people saying retro is the future, and they keep pointing to Evercade as the answer. And you know what? Great. I love this hobby. The more the merrier. Come on over. And I'm sincerely happy for Blaze and their Evercade ecosystem. I hope they could take advantage of this attention and just blow up. There are more ways than ever to play your old Atari carts and Sega carts and Nintendo carts, and yes, even your Neo Geo carts. And I keep hearing exciting rumors about Sega building their own budget retro handheld with cartridges to go head to head with Evercade. And as much as I love Evercade, I love competition more. Competition breeds innovation. If Sega can put out an affordable cartridge-based system that can play games all the way from the Master System through Dreamcast and everything in between, I think they'll have a hit. I don't think we can expect Nintendo to play along. They have always wanted you to rebuy your favorites every generation. I love NSO, but I think that's the best we're going to get from them. And all of this is great. I love it. I am spending way too much time and way too much money trying to experience it all. But it's not the answer. You can't go looking for the future in the past. The industry has to move forward, which is probably shocking coming from me. So do we boycott the PS6 and the Xbox whatever when they come out? Maybe. I probably won't be buying them. I would love to see another player rise up, creating a system that can play indie, AA, light AAA, and retro games at an affordable price. Something that plays physical media, that doesn't require an internet connection or day one patches. Something we could own and trade and sell and pop back into a console 40 years from now and have the same experience we had on day one. Something that can't be altered or taken away. But are we just not gonna play GTA 6? I mean, I'm probably not. I'm not really a GTA fan. But are we not gonna play the next Call of Duty or God of War or Elder Scrolls? I don't know. I do know that we've all got some choices to make. I've been paying for PS Plus and Xbox Game Pass for a long time. Maybe it's time to stop doing that. Maybe it's time to stop buying things that I don't own. Or maybe I'm just an old man ranting about how much I hate change. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but there's plenty of room for discussion down in the comments. If you enjoy retro gaming content that's usually a little lighter and contains more actual retro gaming, like and subscribe. I've got some fun content coming up, including some Atari content. I've got a Retron coming in that I want to unbox and take a look at. And I've got a couple huge boxes coming from Whatnot with one of the best retro game buying binges I've been on that channel in a while. I would like to apologize for my sweaty appearance. My AC broke a week ago today, and it has been a nightmare trying to get somebody to come in here and fix it. It is nearly 90 degrees in this house. I live not far from the Texas Gulf Coast, so it is very hot in July in this part of Texas. So I have put this video off because when I get home from work, I just really don't feel like doing anything, and only even stay in the house because we've got 3 dogs. My wife and I try to rotate who's in with them so we can keep an eye on them and make sure they're okay. But most of all, thank you guys for sticking with me through this video. It means the world that you would watch this, especially those that made it all the way to the end. And as always, I'll see you next time.